My childhood felt like a battlefield. I was 9 the first time I understood something was seriously wrong with my dad. Not the normal kid stuff, being grounded or yelled at for fighting with your sibling. This was different, deeper, darker. He'd come home already angry. You could hear it in how he shut the front door, more like he was trying to break it off the hinges. Then it started, the yelling, over nothing. Homework left on the kitchen table, the sink not empty, me and Jake laughing too loud in our room. My mom would scramble to calm him down, to soothe whatever had set him off. She'd fly to the stove, reheating dinner even if it was already warm. Try to steer the conversation. Smile too wide. Jake and I had a system. We'd play a game we called Statue. The second we sensed him coming down the hall, we'd freeze. Not move a muscle. Not breathe too loud. The idea was, if you're still enough, invisible enough, maybe he won't notice you. Jake was 6. He couldn't always hold it together. He'd sniffle or fidget, and that was enough. I'd step in, say something, bump something, do anything to shift Dad's eyes onto me instead. Take the blast. Better me than Jake. I first realized our family wasn't normal at my friend Emma's house. Her dad came home, dropped his briefcase, kissed her mom, asked how our day was. He laughed at our silly drawings, told us to leave our mess for later. I kept waiting for the yelling, for the tension, but it never came. That night, I asked Mom why Emma's dad was so nice. She gripped the steering wheel and stared at the road. Some people just have bad tempers, she said. Your father works hard. We have to be understanding. That became her mantra. Dad was tired. Dad was stressed. Dad didn't mean it. Meanwhile, we lived by shifting rules. One night it was fine to laugh at the table. The next it meant a slammed fist and silence for the rest of the evening. When Jake was 7, he brought home a spelling test with a perfect score. He held it up to Dad like it was gold. Dad barely glanced at it, muttered something about how spelling wasn't going to pay the bills, then swatted it away. Jake looked like someone popped his balloon. I picked it up, told him how proud I was. We played games in our room that night until he stopped sniffling. Later, I heard my parents fighting. My mom yelling, "He's just a little boy trying to make you proud." Then a crash. The next morning, she had a dark mark under her eye. I bumped the counter, she told me. I didn't believe her, not for a second. By 12, I could read Dad's mood before he even stepped inside. If his key turned fast, brace yourself. If it was slow and smooth, he'd been drinking. Don't be seen. If it fumbled, he was very drunk. He might just pass out. I got good at reading danger. I started looking after Jake like I was the parent, took the blame when he forgot his homework, covered for him when he spilled juice. I just wanted to shield him, to make sure he got a childhood, even if mine was wrecked. At school, we had to write essays about our heroes. I picked my mom, wrote about how she always tried to keep peace in our house. My teacher, Mrs. Abernathy, pulled me aside after class. Her tone was gentle. "Everything okay at home?" I smiled. Lied, of course. That's what we did. She didn't push. But after that, she started doing little things, leaving snacks in my locker, kept a second set of coats for Jake and me at school, just in case. Maybe she didn't know everything, but she suspected enough. Then came 13. That was the year everything cracked. It was late October. Dad came home in a rage. I never knew why. Maybe work, maybe something dumb Jake said on the way to the car. Doesn't matter. He walked in like a storm. Jake dropped his backpack too loud and Dad exploded. He lunged toward him, hand raised. I moved fast, shoved Jake into our room and slammed the door. I turned around and caught the hit. The pain barely registered, but the sound? That sound is carved into my brain. My mom screamed. Jake cried behind the door, and I ran, out the front door, through the neighborhood. I didn't even have shoes on. I went straight to Mrs. Abernathy's house. I'd never even been there before. Just remembered her address from a class field trip permission slip. She opened the door and I just said, "Please, I don't want to go back." She didn't ask questions, just pulled me in and held me. Police came, then CPS. It was messy, long, complicated. Click the full story to see what happened next.